Alright, listen, I've done this intro about 3,000 times, I keep messing it up, so anyway, welcome back to a return to glory, guys, round 10 at the French Grand Prix. If you missed the previous episode, then check it out. I'll leave a link up in the top right hand corner of your screen, and if you're going to enjoy today's video, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I've messed this up 1,000 times, I've done it again, so yeah, just enjoy the video, guys, and yeah, let's jump into it. Okay, let's jump into it then. So first of all, we look at the weather forecast, and there is no rain expected this weekend, which is good news. We then look at the performance chart, and no upgrades for us, unfortunately. We do have some plans for the next couple of races, some major upgrades, but for now you can see around us other teams actually pulling away a little bit. Mercedes, Renault, McLaren as well. In terms of our upgrades, we have two major ones planned, one for the engine and one for the aero. Hopefully they'll both arrive, before the next race, fingers crossed. But with that said, we move to practice here at France, at Le Castellet, at the Paul Ricard circuit, and we're going to get the weekend underway. Now, practice went decent. The car felt good, but there was definitely some oversteer issues, which I'm kind of going to have all weekend long. It's partly down to the car. The setup feels good though. I've got a good overall performance and a good pace in the car. You'll see here now in practice, I've got a bit wide out of turn one, then lost the back and had a bit of a shunt with the wall. Luckily, no big damages as we hit the wall with the back of the car, so therefore nothing broke, which was really, really fortunate. We gained about 700 points, in terms of R&D once again, and a very, very small improvement on the driver acclaim. But we move into qualifying, and as you guys know, we have had a fantastic run, this season, both in terms of qualifying and the race results as well, especially. But the qualifying has been pretty decent, surprisingly better than I thought. Now, this weekend, of course, we're hoping for more of the same, and we jump into Q1, and this was my first time lap, and to be fair, it was a very, very good lap. It was an absolute belter. For an opening lap, a banker, this was right up there actually, and this lap was going to be our best lap in Q1. As we run up to the line, let's see what the lap time is. It's a 28.3, and we go P9 ahead of Gasly and Albon, but behind Norris and Ocon. So a good first lap. We then got pushed down to P11, and I did go out for a second run, but this was a bit of a precautionary one in case I did get knocked out. But you can tell here I start to back off because I know at this point everyone has finished their laps, and I know I'm going to be saved, so there's no point in me finishing the lap. I may as well save the tyres, save the engine, and move into Q2. You can see we got through comfortably by 0.3 of a second, which is pretty decent. Russell only P19, which is a bit of a shame, but crucially, we actually out-qualify Albon in Q1, which was the big surprise. But we now move into Q2, and in this session, my best run again was my first lap. So we're going to go on board for a full lap of the Paul Ricard circuit. Let's see what the lap is, and I'll get back to you as always once the lap is finished. There we go then, across the line, we go P8 with a 28.2, so a 1/10 improvement over the Q1 lap, which is pretty decent. And I went back to the pits, and you can see at this stage, I made a bit of a mistake. So we're currently, into Q3. We've got a bit of a buffer, to the cars behind us. Generally speaking, I think if we can find the 10th in the next lap, we can definitely get into Q3 quite comfortably. So that was going to be the target. You see the lap times 28.1, 28.1, 0.2, 0.2, 0.3. So in those kind of, mid to low 28s. And I went out and I didn't get the timing right. So you guys know there is a bit of a time glitch in this game. I like to start my lap before the time it takes to complete one full lap. So in this case, 129 or above, and I crossed the line with 128. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the lap done in time. So this little mistake right here cost me, because I was actually improving. I was going pretty well, about a tenth up, pretty much. But then I made that error, and I wasn't going to recover that time, unfortunately. And at this point, I was debating: do I back off and then just, see if I can let everyone finish their laps behind me, and that way avoid the lap time glitch, or do I push on and hope to cross the line before it hits the 0 second mark? And unfortunately, it did hit 0 seconds, just half a second before I crossed the line, and that did mean the quali sim time glitch, whatever you want to call it, did take place. So the reason I say this is because it was a real shame, because the lap I did in my first run was actually very good. It could have easily been good enough for P11, that's where we were, and it should have been good enough for that. But the sim glitch took place, and basically I missed the finish line by 1 second, which means there was a fade to black, and then you fade back to the results, and then all the cars behind me on a lap set glitched lap time. So essentially you got Leclerc in P2 there, Norris P3, Ricciardo P4, Hamilton almost getting knocked out in P7, and then Albon, for example, P12 as well on the Red Bull. And if you look at the lap times, everyone's in like the mid to low 27, so almost like a full improvement of a second, Leclerc, Lando, Ricciardo, and then there's some high 27s there as well, but no one was doing the high 27s, the entire weekend except for Mercedes. So a bit of a shame, because it's annoying when these things happen, and the lap time glitch ruins qualifying. But you can see, for example, Grosjean, who set a perfectly normal time, he was 1.9 seconds off the pace, so that's more realistic in a way, and all the times above me are pretty much bugged out. So it's a real shame. Seems like every single car managed to do a sub 28, which is impossible. And if you go back to the Q1 lap times and have a look at those, you'll see what I mean. But anyway, ramble aside, it's P14, disappointing, but we're going to move to the race. Free tyre choice, we can maybe turn it around, so let's jump into it and let's get the French Grand Prix underway.
Welcome along then to France, host of the world-famous Tour de France. But we're not talking 2 wheels today, we're talking 4, in a country widely thought of as giving birth to the art of motor racing back in the late 1800s. We've come a long way since then, and you're about to find out how far. It's time for the French Grand Prix. Mastering a lap of Paul Ricard means getting to know 15 corners, 6 left and 9 right, for an overall lap distance of 3.6 miles. The 2 halves of the long Mistral Straight are separated by a heavy braking zone into a potential overtaking hotspot at the Chicane Nord. And watch out for the drivers running onto the distinctive coloured stripes, which are low in grip and highly abrasive. Anthony Davidson also joins me in the commentary box today. Let's talk about Martinez. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
It's been a really solid year so far. There have been some incredible standout performances, but what's really impressed me has been the consistency. With this kind of form, I'm expecting another great race today.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Verstappen, Charles Leclerc and Ricciardo, Sainz, Norris, Stroll and Esteban Ocon, Perez, Albon, Pierre Gasly, Martinez, Grosjean, Kvyat, Kevin Magnussen and Kimi Räikkönen. Russell and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
Here we go, guys. It's time for the French Grand Prix. We start from P14 on the grid. Not ideal, but we'll try and make it work anyways. And I believe there was a bit of a qualifying time glitch, but nonetheless, crucially, we're still, on the 7th row. We've got a good chance of scoring points, and I feel like the start could be key. Now, in terms of strategy, that's where I'm a little bit mixed about this. So I feel like we might struggle here today. I feel like we've got really bad tyre wear now, and it's really starting to affect us in that way. And I don't feel like we can use the softs today, which is a real shame because it's a really good tyre around here. but it looks like AI probably will be able to. So we are going to be at a bit of a tire disadvantage, but nonetheless, we're going to hopefully try and make this strategy work. Mediums to hards, a very simple one stop. Fuel wise, I've gone for 1 extra lap, so a slight overfuel, and no rain expected here today. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Let's see if we can try and pull something out of this and get yet another points finish. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can get a good start as the lights make their way on here. And away we go. That's not a bad start, actually. We didn't get a great one, but it does help that Gasly didn't get away that well. Bit of a roadblock here. We're going to go the long way around to turn 1. We're going to go super deep into the corner, and we make that work, and we gain a place, and we're up to P13. So a good start from us, actually, using the width of the track to our advantage and getting past Gasly. We've got a bit of contact here up ahead. We're going to use that to go around the outside, which then becomes the inside. Trying to get past Albon here. We're going to put the squeeze on. Ocon and Perez here side by side. We're going to try and see if we can slot in here. Look at this, great run, good exit. Full engine power for us on this back straight here. Albon getting a lovely toe behind. We're going to use this to my advantage. We're going to go the long way round on Perez into the chicane. There we go. Lovely move. Executed to perfection. And we're now P11, so we're already the lead medium compound tyre car in this race. So a very good start from us. Exactly what the doctor ordered. We're now going to see if we can stick with the cars ahead on the soft tyres, which is going to be a bit more of a challenge, at least in this early phase, because the AI, of course, run full power for the first 2 laps, and they've got the soft tyre benefit as well. So if we can hang in there, we're going to be pretty decent. The car feels good. I feel pretty confident around here. I feel like qualifying wasn't a fair, assessment of our true pace, so I definitely think we could easily hang in the mix here, but I've got to make sure I stay on top and make no mistakes. But lap 1 draws to a close, and we are looking very decent here. Let's try and stick with it. We are being slightly dropped by the guys ahead, but I am just about hanging on to the DRS. This should be the first lap now where they're not running at full power. Okay, that's good. But Magnussen, of course, is behind us, so it's not a big concern. But yeah, as I was saying, the AI now should no longer be running at full power, so we should be able to keep up a bit easier. Looks like we are just starting to drop Albon behind us, which could be a good thing, especially if Perez gets involved in the action. In the meantime, I'm trying to see if I can stick with Ocon here, who's trying to put some pressure on Sainz. Let's stay on board here, because it looks like Ocon is going to go for the move, so we're going to use that as an opportunity to try and close the gap even more. They're so close. You can see they're running full power, because look at the delta just go up. Bit more contact as they still go side by side through here. This is going to cost them a lot of time. Oh, bit of a stiff from me. Just trying to see if I can break the DRS of Albon behind. Currently that gap is just over a second. These two are still side by side. Absolutely brilliant scrap this is. Looks like Albon has held on to DRS. Meanwhile, these two are still going at it. Do I dare pass now? Do I wait? I'm going to wait. Be patient for the back straight. Could be a great opportunity for us, so I'm going to just sit behind for now. Here we go. Let's see what Sainz does. Will he go for the move on Ocon? If not, I'm going to try and swoop in here. Down towards the chicane. Nice and late on the brakes. Open up the line. Focus on the exit, which is exactly what we do. That is perfect. Trying to get the move done here, but you can see I'm getting no benefit on the straight, which is a real shame. No real straight line speed from us. Looks like we're going to have to just wait behind a bit longer here. Wait for those soft tyres to fade a little bit more. But we certainly have the pace. Looks like Perez has just passed Albon behind us. Meanwhile, there's some more battling up ahead. I don't quite have the pace at the minute now anymore. Seems like the soft tyres have come back to life a bit for some reason. I just don't know. I just seem to have dropped off a little bit. As I say that, a few cars are pitting already. So that's a very early stop. So that's a 2-stop strategy by the looks of it. This is our chance now to get Ocon this lap. If we can close up, bite the back straight, we can get by. Lots of cars in the pits though, as we move up the P5 in this race. Okay, I'm going to try and get past Ocon here. Might not be ideal in terms of draining my battery. My engine's getting a bit hot as well. Okay, I'm not even going to bother. I'm not even going to try. That Renault is pretty quick on the straight. I'm just wasting my battery for no reason. And we're about to go into clean air anyway when Ocon does pit this lap. So, might as well just be patient. We'll get nice clean air next lap. Let's see. There we go. Ocon does pit, as does Norris. And also the Ferrari in front of him. anyone else staying out, or we're going to take the lead here? About to find out. Looks like we've got Hamilton out on medium, so he's going quite long, so we're P2 for now. Right, so clear track. We've got a nice gap behind. This is an important phase of the race. We need to try and set some decent lap times here. This is race critical.
Okay, some information on signs. They're retiring from the race. A new strategy is
okay.
on the MFD. Okay, the safety car is out. The safety car is out. We need to form up at a reduced pace. Keep a close eye on that delta time. Make sure to keep it positive.
Definitely got some kind of bug.
Copy.
I don't know what it is with this game, but it's definitely broken in that sense, so I don't know what to do. Do we pit and get the stop out of the way, or do we go long? I feel like I've got to stop and try and make the hards go to the end. That's my golden ticket, so we're going to pit.
Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
Right, we're going to pit for the hard tyres. Makes sense, just get out of the way and hope for the best. Hamilton's in as well. He's going for the soft tyres actually. Interesting strategy from Lewis there. To be fair, it's not a bad shout, you know, going soft, super aggressive. But we're going to try and get these to the end. Hopefully we don't hold George up too badly. We need a quick stop here from the boys. 2.6, that's okay. Right, let's see if we can make these hard tyres work. I've got to try and take care of them.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
We're rejoining into some traffic here. Can we get out ahead of Norris? Yes, we can. Right, so we're in the mix. We're P8, going to the end. Okay, I think everyone has to stop again in this race. I'm pretty sure of it. So if we don't stop, maybe we could make something work here. Again, being on the alternate contra strategy. But we are going to struggle to make this get to the end, I think. Okay, safety car in this lap. We've got an Alpha in the lead, so that's going to be interesting. It's going to make things very spicy indeed, with Mercedes right behind him. We've got a mix of tyre compounds. I'm trying to get my tyres under, you know, some decent temperature because we're on the hard tyre. Oh, that was close. Looks like a bit of a false restart there. So we go for the final corner. I'm going to try and get the cut back here. Can we get Leclerc straight off the bat? That'd be nice. Great timing on the restart. But look at the Ferrari go on the straight. Pretty surprising, actually. Going to put Leclerc under some pressure early on. See if we can force him into an error. Looks like it's not going to happen. We are going to be in a bit of trouble on these tyres early on, I feel like. So we need to weather the storm as best as possible. We'll try and do our best here. AI again are going to get full power for 2 laps, so we need to bear that in mind as well. Oh, the grip is not great, I've got to be honest. I think Lando might get us here. Here he comes. McLaren going pretty rapid on the straight. He's going to go to the outside. We'll hold it on the inside though, quite nicely. But there's not a lot of grip on these. This is going to be a tricky one to make work in terms of strategy, but we'll try and do our best. This Alpha that's stuck in P2 at the minute, it could be absolutely key for us, because at the minute there's a bit of a train of cars ahead of us, and these are very important laps, because if these cars in front of us can't get past the Alpha, and they can't take full advantage of their fresh tyres, then they're going to have to obviously pit again. That's going to give me track position, but I'll be pretty much a full pit stop ahead, so that could be very important. So this Alpha is doing me a really solid job right now. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Still got a long way to go yet. Not even halfway there yet in terms of race distance, as Lando gets close again, looking for a little move, but we're going to block a little bit for now, but he's still trying. Let's see what happens here then. So we're tucked in behind Leclerc and Ricciardo, who are stuck behind Kimi, of course, now, who has been on those mediums for a little while. You can see I don't get any kind of traction there compared to the AI. Lando's going to be right on our gearbox here, which is not going to help. That McLaren is speedy on the straight, to say the least. I'm going to run out of the RSS, so I'm going to try and hold back a little bit. Go on the outside of Lando here, put the squeeze on. Oh, we've just tapped back at Leclerc there. I mean, I've got some slight wing damage. Okay, no, we're okay. We got away with that, but that could have been a bit nasty.
We advise moving to mix 2, fuel to mix 2.
Ricciardo and Leclerc get past Kimi. We need to do the same, as this is now costing me time. Oh, wow, that was... Oh, I tried to have a look. That completely backfired on me. Someone's looking down the inside. I think that's Lando looking for the move. We'll hold on for now, but I've got no ERS here, which is not good. We've had to use a lot of it to stay competitive. Lando looking down the inside again as Kimi eventually pits. The timing on that is not great for us. 3 more cars in the pit lane actually. So we're going to move up to P6 in this race. Right, let's see what we can do. We've dropped out of a closed DRS, which is far from ideal. We'll try and make it work though. Let's see if we can switch these tyres on in a bit of clean air now.
George is going in for his stop.
Bit of a shame. You know, George should be doing better there. The team should be doing better in terms of, you know, putting both cars on the same strategy and possibly maximising some points. I've got no pace at the minute, but we're hanging in there. P6, I've got a huge train of cars behind, as you can see on the mini-map. Just trying to hang on for dear life here, but it's not going to last very long. I feel like it's only a matter of time until Lando gets by it. We need those mediums to start fading already so that I can start to benefit from these hard tyres, because right now we are in trouble. I'm never going to bother using ERS, so if Lando does get by, I'm just going to let him go. I'm not going to defend. I need this last bit of ERS. It's going to be really, really important, so let's just try and stick with Lando here, try and stay in the DRS. That's going to be the plan. Let him drag me along, hopefully. Okay, more cars pitting, including Lewis Hamilton. Okay, so we're P6 again, of course, as Norris did overtake us. Trying to stick with these DRS as much as possible. Really, really key phase of the race, this one. More cars pitting again, so it looks like there's a lot of two-stoppers. Vettel in the pits for Ferrari, so we're now P5 in this race. And I'm sticking with Lando here quite nicely, so this is working out perfectly for us. Lando stays out, but everybody else pits, pretty much. We've got Hamilton now, who's catching up behind us. So we're now going to move up into the top 3. Bottas also still staying out for Mercedes-Benz. Okay, Lando pits, Valtteri in the pit lane as well. So we are going to take the lead in this race for a little while. Hamilton, though, in hot pursuit, but for now, P1 for us.
Be careful, we think you're going to start losing some tyre grip around now.
I am looking, it's going to be very, very close in terms of tyre wear by the end of the race. I think we're going to be very marginal, so we're going to have to be careful a little bit, but at the same time, I need to keep pushing. We've got the track position. This is so, so important for us. Looks like Lewis will probably get the move done now, so we're not going to fight it. There's no point. We're not racing Hamilton here today. As much as I'd love to, it's not the case. I think we're racing Vettel for the podium. That's who we're racing. I think we can definitely achieve that. So, just got to try and do my own race for the last few laps. Okay, just like with Lewis, we're going to let Valtteri just get on with it. We're not racing him here today. He's a lot quicker than me. We're just going to nick a bit of slipstream while we can. We're looking okay though in terms of Vettel. The gap seems like we could potentially do enough to keep him at bay, but we're going to have to be perfect. Struggling on tyres now, making a few mistakes, but we're doing enough. The pace is still strong enough, but the gap is slowly coming down. Verstappen has passed Vettel, which doesn't help. Seb was slower of the two on those hard tyres, so there is a strong chance Verstappen might catch us, but Seb probably won't. Tyre wear is looking very marginal here. I don't know if we're going to make it. It's going to be really, really close. It depends if the tyres hit the cliff, and if so, how bad they perform when they do. Hopefully the cliff isn't until 80%, because if it's in the 70s, we could be in trouble here. Max is pushing. He's close. He is within DRS on the last lap. I thought I was safe, but he's just going into overdrive and overpower mode because he's just using up all of his saved DRS. I'm trying to give him a squeeze into the chicane here. We're going to go around the outside and hang on for now. I'm not letting this go without a fight. Tyres are also very marginal, but I think I might have just done enough here. I'm going to save what I've got left. I feel like max amount of wing damage. I can't quite tell either way. Here we go, holding on through here now. Last section of the lap. Nice, nice, nice. Come on. How's the front left looking? 75%. Oh my god, we are on the limit here. Keep my car in the middle of the track at all times. Park the bus. Just hold on. Hamilton wins. Max is trying to have a little look, but we're going to keep our car right in the middle of the racetrack here. Heading to the final corner. Nice wide line, forcing Verstappen to the outside. And there we go. We're holding on. Up to the line. And it's going to be a podium again. Come on.
Top job, my friend, top job. I was a bit worried about this one at the start of the weekend, but you've pulled through. Thank you.
Another superb French Grand Prix comes to an end, and it's a thoroughly deserved victory. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
It was a question of right place, right time today. We were looking at an entirely different race before the safety car came out, but they were able to take full advantage after the field had been bunched up.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes.
Well guys, you know what they say, we take those dubs as we secure yet another podium in this series. Not sure how many now, I've actually started to lose count how many podiums we've had, but the consistency has been unbelievable. I never thought I'd get a podium from P14 on the grid, but the strategy was perfect. We made the hard tyres last to the very end, and they did not pop, which was really important. Hamilton picks up the win ahead of Bottas, making it a 1-2 for Mercedes, and also Hamilton gets the fastest lap. We finish in third ahead of Verstappen, Vettel, Leclerc, Norris, Stroll, Ricciardo, and Ocon. And missing out the points, we have Gasly, Kvyat, Perez, Raikkonen, Grosjean, Albon, Magnussen, Russell, Giovinazzi, and Carlos Sainz, the only retirement from the race here today. We then look at the driver standings and we remain in third place, and we actually extend our lead over Max Verstappen. So we are chilling, as I said in the last episode. We're chill, we're looking pretty decent. In terms of the constructors, we're also in third place, 10 points ahead of Ferrari. So again, we're chilling, we're looking pretty decent. So yeah, happy days, a good day at the office here today at France. We're now going to move into the menu and put more upgrades onto our car.
You were cutting your way through the field during the race.
I wouldn't exactly say that. I think we benefited from the strategy, to be fair. But the car does feel good. It has been improving, and it does help a lot.
Your team must be ecstatic with how you're performing.
I hope so. You know, we're working hard, but we can't get complacent. We have to keep pushing.
I've heard rumours that you're interested in moving to this team. Is there any truth to that?
I'm flattered, but I've got no plans.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Well, after the race, we outscore Sebastian Vettel, which is great for us. So we tie on points, 10 apiece in the rivalry, and that is going to be pretty decent for us heading into the halfway stage of the season. We also gain a decent amount of acclaim as we're rapidly closing in now on level 10, which is really good for us. Unfortunately, it's not good news. I've just got back onto the menu and I've seen that the engine upgrade has failed, which is a shame because Austria is the next race, which is really unfortunate. So we'll get that on the car, and that should arrive before the British Grand Prix. We've still got 1,300 points, so we can go ahead and purchase another upgrade. And I'm thinking a chassis one, to be fair. We need to work on the chassis big time. Looking at the options, a tyre wear is tempting because we are really struggling with that, and it's really becoming a bit of an Achilles heel for us now. Having said that, this weight reduction upgrade is huge in terms of how much of a benefit it brings to the car, so I am going to go ahead, get that on the car before the Hungarian Grand Prix, and hope that does arrive. With that said though, we can now skip ahead to Austria. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, then slap a like on it, subscribe for more if you're new to the channel, of course, for daily F1 content over here. And as always guys, thank you to the members of the channel for supporting. I really appreciate it. As always, at the end of the video guys, check out the 2 videos on screen, including the previous episode, and I'll see you guys the next time for the Austrian Grand Prix. But until then, take care, and let's goodbye from me.